Join Samantha and Hans at the next Macro to Micro Options Power Hour, held each Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Registration is free. Scan this QR code or click on the link in the description.
Yes, Andrew, to your question, strangles, covered calls, condors. Oh my goodness, yes. We have a wonderful trading desk of 10. Some are directional, but Archna, Hans, and Mike are very much focused on these advanced options. And they're doing, the most advanced I do is really financed call spreads and put spreads. I'm very particular about my option tactics. I happen to really adore those for high conviction. So I put those on with high conviction. I know how to manage it. It's all your comfort level, but I'm not doing income trading. And I know, Hans, you also, and Archna, she also has just an income portfolio that you're managing, which is great for range bound. I'm always focused on market direction, sector rotation for volatility, explosion in stocks, mostly swing to trend timeframes, but also setting up chases. But I really don't do so much of that, but you guys do. So that's a benefit. And yes, there is an artistry of doing options, but it's all what you're used to and what you're comfortable with. And you teach it. So obviously we've got options education for beginning, intermediate, and advanced. And then aside from those courses, working with clients wherever they may be, whether they manage a book for other people and manage other people's money, which is what Hans did in his management of portfolios for hedge funds for years and years, overlay strategies, or just placing his trades. They might be directional or managing VIX options in a hedging strategy, but teaching it and also playing options. This is what we primarily do. So in regards to that option play, then what is this? Renewed bullish?
Strangles and condors. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I had a strangle on MSTR. There it is, the usual suspect. And that did very well. In fact, that was the one I mentioned I messed up because I put it on, I leaned long. The way that I like those strangles is I like a directional play. Well, it is directional, but I like to lean in one direction, right? I don't just place it neutral, meaning way out of the money call or way out of the money put. I go, you know what? I think there's movement because I think where some people get the long options game wrong is they think that a move could happen, but a key element to being long options where you're behind the 8 ball a little bit much of the time because options tend to be more expensive, right? If the VIX is 16, the realized volatility is actually 14, right? So options tend to be a little bit more expensive. That's a feature of options market, generally speaking, let's say 85% of the time. So when you play the long options game, you really want to give yourself a head start in that game by having a number of things. Number one, you want to make sure that implied volatility is very low. If you're not as sure about a move, or you think it could be happening, make sure at the very least that you're buying a very low percentile implied volatility. Or that's not always the case. If you have existing momentum, if you have big movement already underway, then you give yourself license to pay up a little bit because now you're getting something that's very important to you. You're getting the market telling you that there's momentum in a particular direction. Another thing that I see people do wrong is they catch the falling knife. They're buying calls even though a stock is plunging. Why are you doing that? The market is telling you it is going the opposite way.
So anyway, and then to answer the other question, next target for NVIDIA, it has been increments of 10. Like 96, 106, 116 was critical. I keep talking about 116. It's, oh my goodness, it's a year and a half. It has just been 116. So it's got to get and stay above 116 to move to 126, 136 by earnings. And then sure, if we do have a blowout in earnings, although I'm not expecting it, then we can have something that, I'll say maybe 146 as an outlier, but I really don't think so. So that's all I got for, there are better choices right now than betting on 146 NVIDIA in my humble opinion.
Condor, yeah, somebody's asked about condors. I think they're okay. They've been difficult. They were difficult in April because the realized volatility, so actual movement was just outpacing option pricing. Now that we've come down the other way, probably could make sense. I wouldn't be afraid of doing maybe like a 6-7 day condor sort of thing. Some people are doing zero DTEs, not really my thing. You want to maybe come in and make sure things are stable by 10:30, and then some people like to do them then. But condors, to me, I think not bad. I think if we get a little bit of a pullback and maybe a VIX 19 or 20, I think they could be interesting again for a few weeks because I like condors when vol's a little bit higher. Some people like them for the theta. They're really good for the Vega exposure where the vol is going to come down again and you can capture that with a condor. So I don't mind them. I haven't done any lately just because I know there's one group that does the zero DTE condors and they just got completely slaughtered in April. And There's a time and a place for them, and I think you could do okay on them for a little while here.
Transition period, and they're not giving us any time for transition. Yes, Jason is not in my daily trading room, but he has his own from Volland, he's a guest contributor in our Slack member workspace. Love his insights. Also, he's very much focused on Vanna and all the directional, which I like, swing targets. So when he is bullish and bearish, it's not for the day. I don't do even though I do a trading room, it's to chase Tesla in or something like that. And then anything else that I missed? Will we go down to 4,000? For me, it's a high probability we retest 4,800. If we take that out, we go down to 4,000, and that the dollar would fall while yields are rising. In the meantime, that's not right here. As it relates to diversification, Asia has a lot better consistency.
Join Samantha and Hans at the next Macro to Micro Options Power Hour, held each Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Registration is free. Scan this QR code or click on the link in the description. Watch the full Options Macro to Micro Power Hour episode by clicking on the video here, and subscribe to LaDucTrading YouTube channel for more content.